Narragansett Bay is the thing that is most important to our identity. It defines us, our sense of place, our way of life, our history, our heritage. It's wrapped up in the tide, in the waters, in Narragansett Bay. As far back as I can remember, I was never the kind of kid who could sit on the beach. I always had to turn over rocks and catch crabs and catch fish and, could never sit still. But marine life has always been fascinating to me, and it still is today. Some of my earliest memories of Narragansett Bay are fishing with my dad, and we had a little boat that we would take out of Warwick. And I remember that in our den at home, we had a photo that had been in the Providence Journal of my dad and Tony the barber, this legendary East Side barber who taught my dad to fish. And they were pulling in a 30-pound striped bass into the boat. And that was really the old days, because by the time I was old enough to fish, there were no striped bass left in Narragansett Bay. And the part of the Narragansett Bay where I lived, I'm from Providence, was so polluted that no one would even think to go there. It's extraordinary to go back and see the changes that have taken place over time. That same river that was too polluted to even think about fishing. Today, I'm going out with my father and my son and my wife and daughter, and we're catching these unbelievable, gigantic striped bass, and it's something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. I became the Narragansett Bay Keeper in 1994, one of the first water keepers in the country. My job was as the eyes and ears of the community out on Narragansett Bay, responding to pollution calls, helping communities navigate challenging environmental issues, pollution problems. The 1996 North Cape oil spill was a watershed moment for me, getting to see widespread destruction and devastation on the Rhode Island coast, where toxic oil coming into the salt ponds, where I grew up, and that was very disturbing. After the oil spill, we changed the regulations about how oil moves in barges in southern New England to make sure that something like that North Cape spill never happens again. After the massive fish kill in 2003, the people together got new wastewater regulations that forced all the Rhode Island plants to cut their discharges of nitrogen pollution by more than 50%, and we've largely realized that. This is Torgan. Well, after nearly 2 decades as Bay Keeper, I found an opportunity with the Nature Conservancy. The Nature Conservancy is the world's largest conservation organization, with chapters serving each of the 50 states and 69 countries around the world, and started a new ocean and coastal conservation program to look at protecting coastal resources, water quality, and coastal lands in Rhode Island and in the broader southern New England region. To me, Narragansett Bay and the rivers and the coastal waters are the foundation of everything that makes Rhode Island great, that distinguishes us, and that makes me want to live here and raise a family here. And so that's my hope for the future generation, is that my kids and their kids will get to enjoy it the way that I have.